Every year somebody says to me that now he or she is going to stop smoking. Oh yes, every year.
Hi everyone, Timothy Walker here. I'm an American teacher living in Finland. In this episode, I'm really excited to take you into a middle school science classroom. This year, I had the opportunity to visit my friend Marjo Löyty, a biology teacher in Eastern Finland. Marjo works at the Hatsala Classical School where she's taught for nearly 20 years. Although Hatsala is a large public middle school with about 700 kids in grades 7 through 9, Marjo's 9th grade biology classes are generally small. In the 45-minute lesson, I observed there were only 11 students. That afternoon, Marjo and I chatted about the lesson, science education in Finland, and the power of making real-world connections at school.
Well, our aim today was to study the structure of respiratory system and to learn different parts, to learn how they function and what's the structure of the tissue, how do you feel, what is it like? That was our main aim. And then they haven't seen that kind of real organs that much before, because nowadays they don't live in countryside where you have animals around you, or if you make food, they just buy food and put it in a microwave oven. So they haven't seen blood, and it might smell bad. So I want them to be relaxed with those organs, that it's inside you. You don't have to be afraid. But would you like to see how this pig is breathing? Sure, let's do that. Let's check which part is where, and we are going to try to do this. Sometimes this experiment is not working.
He said, "Oh no," so I think he should be the one to blow the pipe.
Is there a risk of blood entering the camera lens?
Sure. Okay, please don't touch. But I'm not sure if this is working or not, but we'll try.
Marjo set up 3 stations in her classroom. In one corner, her assistant teacher met with students where they discussed difficult biology terms. In another corner, she gave the kids the opportunity to measure their lung capacity. And then in the middle of the classroom, she allowed the students to observe and dissect pig lungs. In the beginning of the lesson, she called them together and asked them to identify different body parts. And after a brief demonstration, Marjo let them work in teams, chatting with them and observing their work as they dissected the pigs.
Well, if you would like to touch it, please don't press. But you can try to lift. Not yet, not yet. Carefully try to lift and feel, is it heavy or light? And how do you feel? But please don't press, because otherwise I'm going to swallow something that is bad.
Oh gosh.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Anyone willing to touch?
I can
but don't press, promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a balloon.
There's a lot of trust involved.
I saw many happy faces, and I think that although this was the last lesson of the day, usually they are quite tired because they started at 8. So I saw people that had energy and they really wanted to do.
What was it about?
Because we had those real lungs. I think that was the answer. And then they could measure their own lung capacity. We already measured it last week, but some of them had flu. So they asked, is it possible to do it again? And so I decided that today we will have different spots. It was interesting that last time one of the students didn't want to do anything. She was a little bit afraid of these things, but today she was there. She took gloves and she raised her hand that she is willing to do operations, so it has worked.
Teaching biology in this hands-on way is expensive. Marjo told me it costs the school hundreds of euros per year to offer these dissections, which is most of their annual budget for biology supplies. The animal organs come from a major food supplier in Finland, which would normally throw them away. Mario stores these dirty organs in a freezer, and she must defrost and prepare them whenever she uses them in her lessons. It is a lot of work, but Mario is so passionate about this approach and knows it's worth all the money and effort in the end.
And of course it's real and it helps you to think critically. If you see the lungs, if you see the fragile structure of your lungs and so on. What if we had a microscopic sample from the inner side of the trachea? Try to guess what's inside. Now you can see that it's nice and clean, and you can't see actually anything but these cartilage rings. Try to guess.
Like blood vessels or?
Very tiny, very small. Well, it's kind of hair. It's called chili. Do you know something about that?
Clear dust.
That's correct. What if someone is smoking?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
You lose the little hairs there.
Before he is dead, what would happen to the chili?
Do they like go away or?
Oh yes. And have you ever noticed if you are inside your room and it's a nice spring day, sun is shining and the sun rays are inside your room and you already cleaned everything and still you can see something in the air. What's that? That's correct. So all the dust, all the pollution would go inside here and further down here without the chili. Because it's destroyed, because person is smoking. What he starts to do, or she? Leo?
He starts to cough.
That's right. Well, what if somebody is wise enough to stop smoking? What might happen? Actually, very quickly. Yeah.
They'll come back.
That's right. Even in a month.
Have you ever had a child who was smoking have this kind of breakthrough experience?
Oh yes.
Really?
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. And every year somebody says to me that now or she is going to stop smoking. Oh yes, every year.
Okay.
It's like you blow into it, you first
Yeah.
take like really deep breaths
Yeah.
and then you blow into it and we'll show it in cubic centimeters.
5,000.
Does this seem much more interesting to you too?
Yeah, it's also it's just more memorable, so I will never remember this more than just watching a picture of a pig alive.
You won't remember that
Yeah,
picture.
I won't.
Yeah,
I really
good
won't.
point. Good point.
Since 2001, Finnish teenagers like the ones I observed in Mario's classroom have been famous for doing very well on this international standardized exam called the PISA. This set of tests measures the students' critical thinking skills in reading, math, and science.
If you're a teacher who really, really wants to help children develop critical thinking skills, how important is it that you make those real world connections in the classroom?
It's really important, of course. It's really important, yes. And all the examples, if you can find from real life, and if they are persons who find questions and answers, it's just natural when examples are from the real life.
I talked to Mario about the overarching philosophy in science education in Finland.
Almost all science teachers do this learning by doing. They use this method. They think that it's so important. And if we have any possibility to visit different places like hospitals or for example 8th graders, they are studying forest and ecology, so we go to a forest. And if they are studying lake ecosystem, we go there and we take samples from the water, samples from the forest and so on. So we think that nature around us is important and we take our children there.
Hi again. Teachers, I want to know, how do you make those real world connections in your classroom? Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you are really enjoying these Finnish education videos, make sure to subscribe. In the next episode, I will take you to a forest kindergarten, so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.